This episode of the Acts of Geekery podcast is brought to you by Cobra. Lock S faults in attack position because it's time for another Acts of Geekery podcast.
Did you say lock S faults?
I don't know what is it.
It's lock S foils in attack position.
Okay, well, let's start over and we'll do it that way.
Nope, it's too late.
No,
It's on record forever.
No, it's not.
Welcome back
We can edit it. We can edit it, though,
just
Scott.
stop talking. Welcome back to the Acts of Geekery podcast, episode 39.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek here to bring you all the geeky things in the world of geekdom.
Cue intro music.
Wait, no, we already did the intro.
Oh,
music.
wait, that's right.
Yeah. We had the ad and everything.
Can we do it again? Intro music again. Anyways.
No, but we can get into the news if you'd like.
Yeah, okay, let's get into the news.
All right.
You are unworthy of these realms, unworthy of your title. You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed. I now take from you your power. In the name of my father, and his father before, I own it all, father. Curse you! Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
That's right. It's time for the news, where we get to talk about all the geeky things, right?
And possibly not geeky.
Yeah?
It depends on how we feel.
Welcome to the political podcast today.
The Political Geek Podcast. In other news, Asgard has declared war on Earth.
Yay.
Anyways, we got some birthdays this week.
Yes, we do.
We're going to go. Let's go in. You want to go in?
Youngest to oldest?
Youngest, oldest? Sure.
So that means we're starting with a gorgeous woman who was recently given her own TV miniseries.
Yes, Peggy Carter.
We're talking about Haley Atwell. She is 33.
Yes, happy birthday. She was. These are on the 6th, so last Sunday. Oh, no,
Some of these
some
are.
of them are 6. Yeah,
One of them is not, and one we don't know about.
The next one we've got is Paul Rudd. Happy birthdays. 46 years old now. He's our new Ant-Man, guys.
Yep.
Just in case you didn't know.
Not technically a geek icon yet, but he will be.
Yeah, he will be. He will be.
We also have
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I'm
51,
surprised.
51 years old.
Seems a little older than that.
When we first put this on, Corey said, he's not really geek, is he? And I went, he played Jor-El. And Corey goes, oh, yeah. Of course.
All right, fine.
Yep.
Michael Rooker.
Known for Yondu.
Or Merle, if you're a Walking Dead fan.
Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy.
He's 60.
He doesn't really look 60. He looks old.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look 60.
Just
old.
like Russell Crowe does not look 51. He looks way older.
Yeah, he's way older.
You know who I'm surprised is as old as he is? And he does look his age these days.
Nowadays, yes.
Jackie Chan is 61 years old.
Okay. Yeah. He's getting up there. Happy birthday.
Not as old as our final birthday, though.
Mr. Billy D. Williams. And you're going, who? I don't really know who that is.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
It's Lando Calrissian.
Calrissian?
Calzonian?
Lando
Lando Calzone.
Calzonian.
He's the father of the Calzone in the Star Wars universe. He's 78 years old.
The original trilogy's only black guy.
Yeah, he's 78. So happy birthday, all you new geeky people. I'm talking to you, Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Old geeky people, we're talking to you, Billy D.
And then we're going to start our news with the same kind of thing we always start our news with.
Marvel.
Or DC. It's either one of the two.
Whatever has the biggest news. And I think Marvel got the biggest news slot this week.
They're going to until it's done.
Yep.
Until Age of Ultron is over. Pretty much all news is like, every time we turn around, there's a new scene or a new this or a new TV spot or new information or new interview.
And if you're wondering in trailers and videos why we're not talking about new trailers or clips or anything that for Age of Ultron, that's because we stopped.
Yep, we're done with them.
We can't watch anymore and not feel like we're spoiling ourselves.
Yeah, and we're not done because we're sick of them. We're done because we don't want to spoil anything. And it's just getting kind of tedious. It's just it's about time to just watch the show and call it good. Which there was some of those reviewers and journalists were able to get it pre-screened already, which is awesome. Lucky them.
Like a whole
Disney. And they were allowed by Disney to tweet their responses to the movie, and so far a resounding yes.
That so far they can't believe that Marvel made it work, but they did.
Yeah, apparently there's a ton of characters that they were like, I don't know how this worked, but it did because it was awesome.
Yeah, and Hawkeye really makes the movie from what we hear.
It's a little odd to me.
Yeah,
but I guess
it's Joss Whedon making up for what he did to him in the Avengers.
Yeah, you mean didn't really do nothing.
Yeah, he kind of was the side character, not really there.
Yep.
But you know what? They were probably disappointed that they didn't get for that screening was an end of credit stinger.
Okay.
Joss Whedon said that he didn't have anything that could match the shawarma bit from the end of Avengers. Yeah. So there is no end of credits scene.
Yeah. There now. Keep in mind, people, this doesn't mean there is no after the movie scene. There is one right after the movie. Yeah. Just like in all the other ones.
Yep, it's a mid-credit end credit scene.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they're going towards these days, to be like, audiences really don't want to wait for that end of credit stinger.
We're huge fans, and even we get kind of tired of waiting for 7 minutes of credits.
It's gotten to the point where I'm looking at movies beforehand and looking up the stinger and just saying, just people, what if they say it's good or bad, and if they're like, it's not that good, we'll be like, well, I guess maybe we should go. I don't know, but
so we don't have any stinger, which is okay. Did we have one for Captain America? We did, didn't we?
The Winter Soldier?
Yeah. Because I know they had the Bucky Barnes.
Yeah. So the mid-credit one was
the museum.
The mid-credit one was the lead-up to Age of Ultron with the twins and.
That's right.
Not Baron Zemo. Who's the other one? Strucker.
Baron Strucker.
But then the end of credit scenes for Winter Soldier was the Bucky going to the museum.
Yeah. It's like that's a movie in itself. Bucky goes to the museum. Bucky's day out.
Yeah, Bucky's day off.
Yeah.
We also have an interview from the producer of most of the Marvel movies, actually all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige.
I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, neither do I.
Fiege?
Yeah.
Feige? I don't know. And I've never heard it said otherwise. Yeah. I've always seen him. I know what he looks like. I know how he talks, but I've never actually heard someone say his name.
Yeah, I have heard it said. I just didn't pay attention. I didn't remember.
Fail.
I know.
That just makes our podcast so much worse.
I know. Well, we've got several things from Kevin Feige. I'm going to just call him Feige.
Feige?
That just works.
Okay, sure.
I think that sounds a little bit better. About a couple different topics and things that we've been talking about on the podcast, so it's good to get these out in the open. But let's start with Ant-Man's role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I mean, I don't really... From the title alone, my inkling is he's got a role because he's a Marvel character. Yeah. I mean, I don't really see what the problem is.
So the problem is that with Age of Ultron coming closer and closer and closer, Marvel has been focusing all of their attention on promoting that. And other than that one trailer, which we are getting a new trailer Monday, the 13th. So if you're listening to this probably today, because most of you listen on Monday, I'm sure. All 5,000 of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to assume from here on
out. But Ant-Man is going to have a new trailer, and they're going to start pushing it afterwards. But they asked him, is Ant-Man an afterthought for Age of Ultron? Like, just kind of like, we'll just throw it out there as an in-betweener between our big movies. And Kevin Feige said it's not an afterthought. The truth is the phases mean a lot to me and some people, but Civil War is the start of Phase 3. It just is. And Ant-Man is a different kind of culmination of Phase 2 because it very much is in the MCU, which is a weird way to say that. So from what it sounds like and reading through this, Age of Ultron is going to introduce the idea that there's more than just the Avengers out there.
Yeah, which we kind of talked about a little bit ago, where we were thinking that maybe they would have a bunch of flash scenes of different characters
heroes
fighting, and we would get to see, things like Black Panther or Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
We're not 100% sure, and we could be totally wrong, but that would be really cool if they did.
Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
Yes, let's. She's my favorite.
Kevin Feige said that an early script for Age of Ultron featured Captain Marvel, but they cut it. They cut her at least as Captain Marvel. They may introduce Carol Danvers for a moment.
Okay.
But they didn't want to introduce the idea that she was already a hero running around.
And if you don't know, Carol Danvers is the alter ego of
Yes.
Captain Marvel. Not really. It's not really a secret. She's pretty much known by everyone who she is and that she's Captain Marvel. But she's a Air Force pilot, I believe.
Yes.
And she
Call
ends
sign Warbird.
she ends up getting her powers from a crashed alien.
A Kree.
Named Captain Marvel.
Marvel.
And that's where she takes up the mantle.
Yep. But Fiege said that we didn't want to introduce a fully formed flying in a costume, or introduce her fully formed flying in a costume before you knew who she was or how she came to be.
Darn.
So dissecting this sentence here, it sounds like they are introducing heroes in costume, but they didn't want to introduce her because they wanted her to be a fully fledged character. That doesn't mean that they're not introducing heroes in costume. Like, this is kind of a little bit more evidence.
They'll probably show her flying in a squadron of jets or something, and you'll be able to see, or over the radio it'll say something like
Danvers, pull out, something like that. But what I'm really taking away from this is that there are going to be cameos from other heroes around the world.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And they're just not going to be characters that are fully fledged out yet.
Let's hope. I really am excited to see whatever kind of cameos, even if they're just like D-list superheroes. I don't care. I just want them to just do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Next is Kevin Feige talked about Doctor Strange. And he said that it's really hard for them because they have an iconic American character in Doctor Strange. Like, he is American.
Yes.
But they've got Benedict Cumberbatch playing him, who is an iconic voice and an iconic British actor.
Yeah.
So they're debating whether or not to make him English in the movie.
Well, the way I would do it, I guess, since we've already talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is totally separate from the comics universe. So, they could make Doctor Strange from, South Africa or Australia for all it matters. It doesn't really matter where he's from in the MCU. What I think they should do is, he's got a British accent, but it's because he spent a lot of time over in Britain.
Yeah.
Or he moved from Britain or the UK to America to open his, surgery practice or whatever he does in this.
There's ways around it.
Yeah, plenty of ways around it.
Yeah. And I'm sure Benedict Cumberbatch could do an American accent if needed.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of had like half of one when he played Khan.
A little bit. Like, it was kind of non-denominational.
It was a space British accent.
Space British.
Yeah, not Red Dwarf space British, but,
Normal space British.
Normal space British. Yeah, exactly.
Only geeks will know the difference between that, by the way.
The other thing that came out of Fiege this week, Fiege, is Marvel's Spider-Man that they're doing or helping out with is not going to be an origin story.
Thank the lords of geekdom.
Exactly.
That was just like the one big worry on everybody's mind is we're going to get another origin story.
We've already had an origin story twice. And then some.
Everyone
knows everything about Spider-Man's origin story.
Yeah.
We don't need it again. So, and we thought about, hey, let's have one he's been doing this for a little bit. We already know his origin story. We already know he's Spider-Man. We already know he's Peter Parker. Let's just throw him in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Which they already do in, Sam Raimi's number 2 and number 3.
Yeah.
And the Amazing Spider-Man 2. They've already been Spider-Man for a while.
Yeah.
And then they can jump right into stuff.
Exactly.
There's no 45 minutes of an origin story.
Fiege actually added in this interview that there's already a young kid running around New York City in a homemade Spider-Man costume in the MCU. You just don't know about him yet.
Yeah, you just haven't seen him yet.
Which means we may get a cameo during Age of Ultron.
Maybe. Even if he's like in the background or something,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
You see just like you hear the thwip, the famous web thwip.
Or you're running along a scene and you see a bunch of Ultron bots like stuck in webs. That'd be kind of cool.
What happened here? Never mind, we got to move on, kind of thing. And Fiege also talked about Spider-Man. He said he was going to be high school Spider-Man, which is the best kind of Spider-Man in my opinion. I think he's way better than kind of the adult Spider-Man version. And he was talking about the costume, and he said he really liked the Raimi version of the costume better than the Mark Webb version.
Oh, your wife will like that.
Spider-Man's
her favorite character. She is really picky about which costume he wears.
She was not happy with
the Amazing
Spider-Man.
She won a statue from a contest.
Yeah, like
Spider-Man.
a premium format figure.
And when she got it in, she didn't like it because it had the wrong costume.
Yeah, it was the Amazing Spider-Man #1 costume.
Yeah,
which was not the
classic Spider-Man or whatever. And so, like that just kind of shows you how important it is.
She wasn't ungrateful for winning something for free,
right?
Mind you,
right.
But I did talk with her about this, and she said that she liked the way they did Amazing Spider-Man 2, the costume there, where it was mostly the classic, and you got to see kind of the New Age classic look.
Yeah.
New Age classic look. But Kevin Feige said that they've already got the costume design in mind, and they're just working on it as they're working on the script. So
I'm excited to see what they do with Spider-Man.
I am very excited to do.
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing.
All right.
Do we have the story? Scroll down a little bit. Do we have the story of the Ant-Man picture reveal of the villain?
No, we forgot about that.
So let's talk about that right now.
Okay. So I think it was yesterday.
The day before.
Marvel revealed their first official look at the Yellow Jacket, which looks really cool.
Way cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of complain that he kind of looks like the Iron Spider, where it's Spider-Man's suit with the four metal legs that he uses,
the Doc Ock tentacles.
And a lot of people, of course, didn't like. Well, Hank Pym was the Yellow Jacket. Maybe he is. We don't know, guys.
That would be a weird twist.
I'm just saying. We don't know yet. So stop complaining. Stop geek-plaining. Geek-splaining. Geek-splaining would be geek-explaining.
Yeah.
So stop complaining in your geekdom about this. It looks cool. It really does.
Yeah.
And they kind of talk about how he has contrast from Ant-Man. How Yellow Jacket actually has weapons. He's got plasma blasters or plasma shooters or something on his suit,
like Wasp does.
And Ant-Man doesn't. He he can shrink, of course, and that sounds like a terrible thing. But when he shrinks, his density increases 1,000-fold. So he's got super strength. He can move really, really fast because of that super strength.
Yeah.
So we get to see kind of the difference between the two. Ant-Man is not a superhero equipped with weapons, where Yellow Jacket does have weapons.
Yeah.
So, and it looks really good. We'll have to probably find it and post it up on the page.
Excited.
And have you guys tell us what you think.
We also got our first look at the Thing for the Fantastic Four. We've seen a couple like backshot images, but like full on front action pose. We posted it on the website Friday.
Yeah, he's taking a punch. He's punching the camera basically.
The cameraman's about to get clobbered.
I think it looks fantastic.
But
I say that pun and no pun.
Yeah.
I think it looks great.
It really does look good. The first image they released was just kind of a stock, him staring at the camera, and it looked a lot like Michael Chiklis.
Yeah.
But the action pose looked completely different, and I'm super happy about that.
And the Thing looks like the Thing. I mean, you can say he looks like Michael Chiklis or he looks like this. He looks like the Thing.
Yeah.
That's how he is. He's a big rocky dude.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
bald.
much.
I mean, there's really no way around that. So yeah, he's gonna look like Michael Chiklis, and you say that just because he's the first person to play the Thing that you remember.
I really enjoyed him as the Thing. Like that movie was campy as hell and back, but it was really good.
Yeah, I really like it. I think the CG on it's really cool. So
We also got our first look at the Netflix Daredevil's red suit, which we also posted on the Facebook page. Looks great.
Looks fantastic.
I think it looks amazing for what it
So
is.
we have been watching the show. We've been able to get through about 7 episodes now.
Yep, we are on episode 8.
Yep. And oh my gosh,
Our
this show.
arm's tired.
Yeah.
Wait, no, sorry.
We flew in from the.
We flew in from Hell's Kitchen, and boy, our arms tired.
This show is fantastic.
It's like watching Game of Thrones on Netflix. To be honest, that's what I feel when I watch this. Is the entire episode? You're like, oh yeah, I'm engaged. These characters are all crazy. They're all really fleshed out. And then at the end, something happens that you're just like, what? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Every episode.
The whole series seems like it takes course over maybe a few weeks at the most.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times the next episode will be like the next day.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which means he's getting beat up a lot in a couple days.
The actors are pretty much spot on for every role on it. They did a great job. The camera work is fantastic.
It feels like a movie. You said that to me last night.
I said this is almost movie quality watching. It's not TV.
Yep.
And I do agree with you. You say it's like Game of Thrones, and I'm going to clarify that for me. It is almost stressful, but not in a bad way.
No, yeah, like you get through 2 episodes and you're like, I gotta take a break.
Yeah, it's
I have
to
to
the
get
point
up and
where
get a drink, so.
I've got to take a break. This is almost too much.
And if you're looking for something that is like the Marvel Universe, you're not gonna find it here. It is connected to the MCU.
Definitely,
there is no doubt.
But it is 100% street level and gritty.
Oh, so gritty. There are things in there that make us cringe every episode. We're like, oh, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Which we were kind of expecting a more, at least I personally was expecting a more Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC level stuff. It's a little more lighthearted. They don't show blood and stuff. Oh my gosh, I was totally wrong.
Yep,
100% wrong.
Yeah,
and
it's like
don't let that scare you off. I know a lot of people don't like seeing that kind of stuff, but it's actually really well done as far as the show goes, and it's not so gruesome to the point where you're just like, oh, that was disgusting. It was more like, oh, now it's gone.
Okay, all right. Ooh, we're done.
I mean, I can give you an example. A broken arm and the bone comes out.
Yeah,
you see it. But then it flashes for like a half second or a second on screen at the most, and then it's gone.
That is the scene from The Watchmen that I hate the most. Is when they're in the alley. And kicks the guy's leg.
Laurie and Night Owl, and he kicks the leg and breaks it backward, and then he grabs the guy's arm and then punches it, and it snaps the bone out through it.
Yeah,
it took me a while to get to the point where I could watch that without closing my eyes, because I've had a lot of broken bones.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of like dislocated joints and stuff, so I know how that kind of stuff feels. And every time I'd watch something like that, I would cringe and I would be almost sick to my stomach. It's finally taken a while to get to it, at least in that movie. There are other movies that I can't.
I remember you walked when we were watching A Million Ways to Die in the West one time. Up in your theater room, you walked out towards the part where the guy kicks the other guy's knees and his leg goes sideways. Yeah, because you have huge problem with knee injuries.
Don't even remind me. That's like making.
But you walked out. You walked out like a minute before, and then you came back in like 30 seconds after, and then later on you were talking to me and you were like, "Yeah, I left during that scene because I didn't want to see that."
Yeah, it takes me. I have to watch it a few times, and I know it's not real. I understand that. This is why when friends send me, check out this UFC fight, and it's like a guy breaks his leg and I'm like, I don't want to see that because that's real. No.
Yeah.
In a movie, it's not as bad because I know it's fake.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty. Ugh.
That's the reason why I don't really like watching dogs getting hurt scenes in movies.
I don't either.
There are a couple of scenes and it happens in horror movies a lot more than regular movies because, show how evil the creature is, you have to kill the dog, kind of thing.
Yeah, because only evil jerks hurt dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm serious, and I'm talking real life as well. That's not a joke. That's my personal opinion. If you are cruel enough to injure a dog, I mean, if it is attacking you, self-defense,
yeah, exactly.
Fine. But if you're just you just walk up to it and tease it and then hit it, you're a jerk.
You're a jerk.
But let's get back to
the
red suit. So the Daredevil
That went off the rails.
Daredevil. So far, we haven't seen him don the red suit.
I
only
maybe
seen
last couple episodes.
Probably.
I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of how they do that nowadays. You get the first season is like the origin, like year one. This is pretty much Daredevil year one.
Oh, absolutely! It feels like Batman year one from the comics and the movie, the animated movie. Just because the suit is different. I mean, you've got he doesn't get. Oh, that's the thing I want to talk about with this show. He doesn't just beat people up. It's not just, oh, I come down, I surprise you all, I take you out within 30 seconds with maybe a scratch or two on me.
Yeah.
It is like back and forth with everybody he fights. It doesn't matter if it's a common thug or if it's like a martial artist. It's back and forth all the time.
The fighting is a lot more real, a lot more realistic. They fight each other, and yeah, he's really good at fighting. But he still gets hit. He still gets cut with like a knife. At one point he gets stabbed.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's a lot more realistic.
Yeah.
Unlike most Batmans, I mean, Batman jumps in and there's a room full of like 50 thugs and he beats them all up and he's not out of breath.
Yeah.
And didn't get touched one bit.
No matter how many guns they have with bullets, it's like you can't even hit him.
Daredevil, he gets in a fight and he beats up 3 guys.
Yeah.
And he's out of breath.
Yeah, afterwards he's all, oh my gosh, I can recover from that.
Yeah, and then and then all of a sudden 3 more run, and he's like, crap. So
yeah,
it's really good, and it's really doing good.
And they really handle his superpowers in quotation marks there really well.
Yeah,
like his enhanced senses.
Don't put him in quote. I mean, they are superpowers.
Yeah.
He has enhanced senses. He got splashed with the toxic waste and to make him blind, but then it enhanced every other sense of his.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do everything from like sense when air pressure in the room changes, and when
somebody asked
stuff's
him,
moving, he can hear the air rushing across it, type of thing.
Yeah, somebody asked him what items were in the room around him one time, and he just sat there for a moment and he went, half a box of rusty nails, there's a pipe in the corner, kind of thing, because he's that kind of guy,
And it's not like the Daredevil movie from 2003 where it's like radar sense.
Yeah.
You do get to see a little bit of it, but it's more like fire. You'd have to watch it to see, but it's really cool, and it's a really good show, so you need to check it out if you got Netflix. If you don't have Netflix and you're a friend of ours, let us know. Maybe we'll do a rewatch with you.
Sorry. I'd be absolutely okay with that.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Daredevil, talked about that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. might be getting a spinoff.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I'm not sure what the spinoff would be. That's all we really know about it is apparently
it's already... It itself is already a spinoff.
Yeah.
It is a Marvel Universe spinoff. So is Daredevil. It's a spinoff show. They introduce, C-level characters and stuff like that, and, not the A-listers, which is fine. But... it's already a spinoff. I don't know what they would do. I mean,
they can't do an Inhumans thing.
Agents of Hydra.
Yeah, pretty much. That's got to be it. There's not really much information about that. We got a new picture from Ryan Reynolds, who is having a blast wearing the Deadpool costume again. We got a picture of him this time on the toilet in Deadpool costume. Well, the pants around the ankles, but still. And he's reading Deadpool number 250, which is the death of Deadpool.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like... And Deadpool is this way in the he's meta, and by meta he knows he's in a comic, or in this case he knows he's in a movie, and he does stuff that a normal character in a movie or comic wouldn't be able to know about. Talk to the camera, break the fourth wall, be able to step outside the scene and go talk to people.
Yeah, jump from one I really hope one time they did a cut where he's like, I gotta travel to England. Well, I guess I better go over to the next panel, and then all of a sudden he steps over to the next panel and he's in England,
Or it shows him like riding in the car with a bunch of producers,
Yep.
It's like, are we there yet, guys?
I want to see a scene of Deadpool in full costume waiting in line at the TSA.
Yeah. To
just
get searched. And he's just covered in swords and stuff.
That would be great. And Ryan Reynolds also said that he was happy to give up a bigger budget for Deadpool in order for more creativity and freedom.
So the backstory of this was the movie had nowhere to go. And it took the test footage being leaked online before someone, i.e. Fox, finally said, "Hey, this got a lot of positive response."
Yeah, it's not like the entire internet has been shouting for a Deadpool
no
movie.
kidding. To finally get them to greenlight a budget.
Yeah.
To finally say, "Oh, okay, yeah, we'll make a Deadpool movie." And watch Deadpool be one of the top grossing movies of all time. I mean, seriously, because first of all the diehard fans like us will go. And then we will tell all of our friends to go, and then they'll tell their friends.
And that's like 100 people
That's
right
like
there.
10 friends right there. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. It's great that they're doing a rated R. You know, yeah, they might have a lower budget, but Deadpool doesn't need a huge budget. I mean, he can heal, and you don't have to show that.
You really
once
don't.
or twice just to kind of be like, okay, he can heal.
Yeah.
All right, you know. But other than that, it's just a lot of fancy karate gimmicks
And knives.
and knives.
Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk.
The new Hulk.
The new Hulk.
New Hulk.
The better Hulk.
Hulk 2.0.
The better Hulk.
No, Hulk 3.0, actually. Because we got Eric
That's
Bana.
true.
Eric Bana is 1.0.
Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk, too, so maybe 4.0.
4.0?
There's been too many Hulks.
Yeah,
Like too many cooks.
Stop. You just shut your mouth right there. There's no such thing as too many Hulks.
All right. But Mark Ruffalo says that he would be interested in a Planet Hulk movie.
Actually recommended Planet Hulk, Prelude to Planet Hulk, then Planet Hulk, and World War Hulk to a coworker of mine. He was wondering about. He's like, I want to read a Hulk comic. What do you recommend? And I was like, you got to start here.
This is the best.
This is probably the best Hulk storyline.
Yeah.
Pretty much ever. I mean, most people when they talk about, you know, what one should you buy, what should you have on your collection, this comes up every time.
All right. So here's the little bit of the interview, and I want to bring this up because I found it interesting. Mark Ruffalo says, I think there's a lot of places to go with him, referring to the Hulk. And Scarlett Johansson asked, like, where? And IGN, the people interviewing, go, space. And Ruffalo goes, well, he's going to space. And I think at that point he realized, oh, crap, did I just give something away?
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I mean, there's some talk of maybe Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Like I think he's covering his butt now, and IGN just kind of plays it off as, oh, he's interested in doing the Planet Hulk movie, you know?
Yeah,
because he said he'd be interested.
Sounds like there's already been talks about it.
Yeah, which we know. Well, should we spoil that?
What? It's not. I mean, it's
with Age of Ultron. There's something that we could spoil, like potentially.
Oh, the major character thing that I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, we kind of just spoiled it.
No, I just said there's something that happens with the major character.
There's always something that happens. That's true.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
Should we spoil it?
Yeah, a major character might die.
Yeah, they said that there is going to be a major character death. And we were sitting there racking our brains like, who could it be? Who could it be? Because Iron Man, Captain America are going to be in Civil War.
Yep.
Obviously. Thor's got Ragnarok coming. Hawkeye is kind of the star of the show, but he's the most likely choice. But I think even he was supposed to be in Civil War.
Yeah, so we've got like Hawkeye, Black Widow.
She's going to be in Civil War.
She's getting her own movie too, right?
No, she's going to be in Civil War, though.
We're thinking maybe Rhodey.
Yeah, Rhodey.
Because he's in it. He's in the scene where they're in the Avengers Tower trying to lift Thor's hammer.
I mean, he could definitely be it. I think now, though, I think Ruffalo gets shot into space.
Think so? And they think he's dead?
Yeah, I think Ultron shoots him into space. But you said that this character death was definitely a death and not.
That's what they said, but I mean, they could be lying. There's no.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess we'll see. And that's not a spoiler because we haven't seen it.
That's true.
We're just relaying rumors.
We don't want to. We don't want to make anybody go like, I was going to be sad about that character death, but no, I'm not.
Oh, you'll still be sad.
Well, send your emails to please date ScottAvis@gmail.com.
I don't think we've ever said our last name on this podcast.
I think we have before.
Well, we have now.
Our last name is Avis.
Like the car rental place.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah. We don't.
No,
own
we
it,
don't
though.
own it.
If we did, do you think we would have a podcast that only had 29 followers?
Maybe.
I mean, 5,000 listeners.
5,029.
The last little bit of Marvel news that I have is that the Russo brothers are now officially confirmed. We talked about it last week where they were going to direct Infinity War Part 1 and 2, as well as Captain America Civil War. I cannot speak today. But now they're confirmed with Marvel that, yes, they're going to be the ones who direct Infinity War, which kind of sucks.
And the
because Joss
Russo
is
brothers
there.
did Captain America 2.
The Winter Soldier, which is great.
It's fantastic.
I can't wait to watch it.
The Infinity War Part 1 and 2 and Captain America Civil War going to be awesome. I'm pretty sure. So that's great. I'm glad that they're letting them do that. So that's Marvel news. We had a lot of Marvel news.
Yeah. So much Marvel stuff. And we kind of talked a lot about Daredevil. We kind of reviewed it, even though we said we wouldn't until we were done with the series. So
yeah, we half reviewed it.
Yeah, we reviewed half the series. So let's move on to the other side of the coin, DC, who is, by the way, moving their studios from New York to California right now. If there's any DC people listening, good luck with your move.
And the reason we know that is because they came out and said that they're doing Convergence, which is their comic,
their big comic event,
big event for this year,
which is basically a placeholder for.
Yeah, it's only two. It's like only 2 issues long, so a couple months.
Yeah,
and they're moving to New York. You said, or
no?
From New York?
They're moving from New York to California to be closer to Warner Brothers.
Which is a good thing.
No, not necessarily.
No, I think it's a good thing because then when it's like, hey, we don't know how this character would react in this movie we're trying to make. Let's get someone on the line from DC, and it takes them a while to get someone from New York.
Marvel was still in New York.
The time difference. Yeah, but there's enough people in Marvel Studios
that know what they're doing.
Know what they're doing.
Yeah,
DC hasn't done this yet, and so far I'm still. I liked Man of Steel. I really did.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's going to happen, or what's going to happen, and how it's going to work. But good for them for moving over.
So let's talk about Dawn of Justice first, as we usually do.
Yep. Batman v Superman.
Their first cut of the movie is complete, and they are currently showing it to composers to score it.
You brought up a really good point about this.
You
said I think that being a composer. Watching movies would be horrible because there is no score behind a movie. That's what makes a movie, really. If you watch a movie
without music,
or a music video, have you ever seen a music video without music?
No,
like a behind the scenes where they film it, then they do the audio over it. It's so weird.
Yeah,
so weird because you can hear all the non-music sounds and stuff.
You know what they call movies without music? Found footage movies, and they're all terrible.
Yeah,
except for Cloverfield
and Chronicle.
Even Chronicle's kind of bad.
Really? You don't like Chronicle?
But
you like Cloverfield over Chronicle.
Okay. Relax. I'm not saying Chronicle's a bad movie.
Answer me right now. Answer me.
It's not a bad movie. I'm just not as huge of a fan of it as anybody else. I'm
going to go make you rewatch it.
No, I have problems with found footage movies.
I do too, but I thought that one was actually pretty well done.
Yeah, and then at the end there, they just kind of scrapped the whole found footage and claimed that he was just using a bunch of phones and everything to get every angle, which bugged me to hell. It's like, if you're not going to do a found footage part, don't do it. You don't do anything found footage.
All right.
I have my issues, but we're gonna move on.
So they're screening it to the composers so that they can try to score it, and not like score it as in bid on it to
7 out of 10,
No, they're trying to figure out what the best best sounds behind everything is going to be. So maybe it's not so bad. Maybe composers actually like watching movies without it because then they can do the music in their head and they're like, yeah, this would be great to do this. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Tim Burton's animated intro.
Or in my head, the whole time he's like, blah, blah, the whole time I'm watching the show.
Who let Christopher Nolan in here?
Watching movies without a composer score is like listening to our podcast. There's no background music.
Yet.
Maybe never. I don't know.
Well, if we had some of that car rental money, maybe we could afford background music.
No kidding.
Why don't you talk about this next one, Scott?
All right. So I like comic books. I don't know if you knew that about me.
I didn't.
Kind of an unknown fact. I don't really let a lot of people know. Just kidding. And I love Star Trek, and I love the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to have a crossover, IDW, and which does Star Trek, and DC. Well, I mean, DC owns IDW technically, but they're going to cross over for the Star Trek Green Lantern, and
it's the what are they calling it? The Galaxy War, or
I think so, the Lantern War or something like that.
I don't know. All Green Lantern
Spectrum War.
Spectrum War.
All
Green Lantern does these days is crossover events like that.
It's kind of a good thing because
no, it's not. Because I want to read one Green Lantern story. I don't want to have to buy 5 different comics for it.
You realize that I do.
I know.
Anyways, it's a 6-issue miniseries, Green Lantern, Star Trek, The Spectrum War, which is cool. And as far as ones to cross over, those are really good. They're both in space, and they both deal with galaxy-wide, stuff, threats and things. So, I don't know. It's kind of exciting. I thought that... and the new Star Trek titles are the new Abrams verse.
Yes.
Rather than the classic Star Trek, which is... I really enjoy those a lot. In fact, when I read them, they're kind of my most anticipated ones when I get them, just because it's my love of Star Trek and my love of comics mixed together.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't think that would be top of your list.
No, it's one of my favorite comics right now. Yep.
All right. I look at it and I go, I want a TV series. I don't want a comic. I'm very confrontational today.
You're very confrontational today.
We have a rumor that the Aquaman director may be furious. In fact, that is going to be put in the synopsis, I think.
Okay.
James Wan, the director of Furious 7,
which is currently doing great.
Yeah, it's like 800 million worldwide and 252 million domestic.
Yep.
Which is the biggest of any Fast and the Furious
It's actually
movie.
Like the 10th largest opening for 12 weeks out or something like that.
The first largest opening being, of course, the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Anyway, that was a terrible joke.
Yeah, so James Wan, I think, is his name. He might be directing Aquaman. It's still a rumor, so we're not 100% sure. But
that could be interesting. It wasn't a bad movie. I mean, it did fine.
I liked it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week.
Yes, we did. And then the last thing for DC, we got a Suicide Squad cast photo. Oh, Scott, we should not be recording today.
We have to.
I know.
Anyways,
if you would like to come and host in my place, please send an email to datescottdavis@gmail.com.
I don't even. It's some random person with that email is going to be getting all these strange emails.
Who would have that specific email?
It's the internet, man. I don't know.
Anyways,
the Suicide Squad, the cast of the Suicide Squad, there was a big photo of them, not in their costumes, obviously.
No.
They were all brought together to do a full read-through of the current script as it is.
Yep.
So that's what they were doing, and, you've got Will Smith and Margot Robbie and the rest.
Yeah, and they look like they're having fun, except for Jared Leto's not in the picture.
Yep, he was not there.
Yeah, the idea is that maybe he took the photo, but I don't know. It kind of seems like they should have somebody there taking photos anyway.
Yeah, no kidding. Like just some assistant.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, that's it pretty much.
I wonder how those. I would like to be a fly on the wall in something like that where they read through a script. Do they all try to do any kind of acting or voices, or do they just read the lines?
I don't know. So
and Deadshot walks in and says, "Don't kill everyone," or something like that.
So,
how do they?
I have done a bit of acting before.
Oh, again with this.
Would you like my headshot?
You're worse than Diggle in Afghanistan.
Yeah. I've done acting in Afghanistan too.
Okay.
No, I have done a bit of acting before and shot some footage for a movie and everything, and we did a read through, and some people read it with kind of read it straight laced. They didn't just monotone read. Then Deadpool says, "Hi, how are you?" kind of thing. Nobody really did it that way, but not many people did the voices for their character.
All
But then again, not every character has voices. So
True.
I mean, this is, of course, an amateur production. Who knows how Will Smith does it? He might come in and just flip through the pages and read his lines into a recorder, and then somebody has to sit there and play it when it
When
gets
it
to
comes
him.
up.
He's like, I'm too important for this.
Yeah,
I got to go raise my son to be like me.
But be a worse actor.
Yeah.
A way worse actor.
That's so bad.
And then my daughter's a terrible singer, so.
But she whips her hair back and forth, Scott.
She sure does.
All right, moving on to just general movies. We talked about Fast and the Furious 7. Let's talk about Pinocchio.
Okay, the cartoon. The Disney cartoon.
Apparently, Disney, of course, is deciding to develop a live-action Pinocchio movie.
This is hot on the heels of a live-action Mulan.
Dumbo got announced.
Dumbo, and there was
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Which I think that's Disney.
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, I think it's Disney.
It's definitely Disney.
Yeah.
100% Disney.
Because Beauty and the
Belle.
Beast is also, it's also a children's tale.
Sure, so are half the Disney shows that they have.
Anyway, live action Pinocchio coming. I'm not sure how to feel about all the live action stuff right now.
I think they're just going down the list and they're just like, yeah, we can just do this one. I'm waiting for a live action Aladdin, but I want the Aladdin theory Aladdin, where it's 10,000 years in the future after Earth has been decimated. That's why there's sand everywhere. And that's why the genie knows all these references to pop culture stuff, is because he was locked away during our time period and brought back out. You know.
Yeah, so he knows all the. Yeah, that's what I want to, but probably not.
Pinocchio, let's see. I don't know.
Yeah. Gremlins is also getting a remake, Scott. I'm a huge fan of Gremlins.
I know you are. So is your wife.
Yep, she's got 2 Mogwais upstairs.
Yes. You mean Furbies?
Yeah, same thing.
Yep, exactly, same thing.
But apparently the Gremlins remake has snagged the Ghostbusters writer. Is this for the new one or the old one?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
We should actually do some research before.
Yeah, that would be good. Chris Columbus.
Writer. No.
Who penned the 1984.
Chris Columbus.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah, Chris Columbus penned the original Gremlins. Carl Ellsworth is tackling the script. He did, not Ghostbusters, Goosebumps.
Goosebumps and Disturbia.
Yeah, so the new stuff.
Goosebumps.
So.
That's
a movie coming out this year with Jack Black.
Yes, which kind of came out of nowhere for us. We were looking through the list of upcoming movies and we went, Goosebumps, what?
It looks interesting though.
And Jack Black is R.L. Stein, and all of his books are, when he writes them,
he traps the real monster.
He traps the real monsters in them.
Yeah,
and
this kid lets him out.
They get loose and they terrorize the city. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. Hopefully, it's not just a super kiddie movie.
Yeah,
the books are pretty easy reads. If you know,
it's kid horror. You know?
I actually really enjoyed them as a kid, though. I read a lot of them. I still have a lot of them.
I loved
along with Animorphs.
That was the first Choose Your Own Adventure book that I read.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that was pretty fun. Project Almanac.
I don't remember that.
That's the time travel one with the found footage time travel.
With the teenagers. Got it. Okay.
The director, Dean Israelite, is tagged to direct the new Power Rangers reboot.
Oh, so they finally got a director.
Yep. Which I hope it's as good and gritty as the...
It won't be.
No, it won't be, but maybe they'll at least go away from the anime actual Power Rangers feel of it and do something a little bit more darker darker in the case of more modern. How about that?
Yeah,
we've also got Scarlett Johansson, the lovely Scarlett Johansson.
Freaking has more movie roles lately. God.
Yeah, thank you, Marvel.
Yeah, thank you, Iron Man 2.
Yep, she has been offered the lead role in the Creature from the Black Lagoon reboot. I think this is part of
You mean Swamp Thing? Swamp Thing 2.0.
Swamp Thing 2.0. Yes, Scott, we'll just do that for you. Yes, Swamp Thing 2.0. I think this is part of the whole like monster movie universe movie set that they're doing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
That's
Creature
right.
from the Black
They're trying to make
Lagoon-
that. They're trying to make the universe just like Marvel did.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters.
just
are
like
trying to do and
just
stuff.
like everybody's trying to do
Uh-huh.
these days. For example, Sony is looking to make Stephen King's Dark Tower series
Yes.
a franchise.
Yes, and Dark Tower, first of all, been recommended to me by no more, or actually no less than like 5 friends.
Yeah, I
You know,
hear
read
it's really
this.
good.
And they also recommend not only the books, but the graphic novel versions of them
Yes.
as well. And I'd probably lean more towards the graphic novel than the book.
Graphic novels are
I've never
kinda
actually
easier to
read
go
a
through.
Stephen King book, so I don't know how his writing is. I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh, neither have I.
I don't know how hard he is to.
That seems
to
like a
read or
huge
anything.
oversight on my part. There's not many things. There's things in geekdom that I'm like, yeah, I've never watched this. You know, I've never seen Battlestar Galactica. I've never watched Stargate SG-1.
Never watched Farscape.
I never watched Farscape. Never watched Fifth Element. That kind of thing. And I'm just like, these are things that I really don't feel bad about. I've never seen Willow, which is a huge staple. I've never seen Never Ending Story.
I've never seen either of those either.
Yeah. I mean, but when I think about not having read a whole Stephen King story, I kind of go, I probably should at least read one.
Yeah, maybe.
know?
Maybe at least one.
Yeah.
But so Dark Tower, there's a lot of them. I think there's 17 books or something like
definitely
that.
a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I
So
know
this of course has been in limbo for a long time.
It's been in what's called development hell forever.
Yeah, everyone wants to create it, but
Don't know
no
how
one
to.
no one either doesn't go through with it, or like you said, they don't have the budget, or they don't know how to interpret it for whatever.
Yeah.
Powers was another
Yeah.
one that we talked about
Development.
a
I
little
mean,
while ago.
it bounced around to studios forever until PlayStation Network finally went, we got it.
Yep.
Which, by the way, if you don't have a PlayStation Network account, you can still get Powers. It just costs you like $3 per episode.
Yeah, it's $3 for the SD version, standard definition, or it's $4 for the HD version per episode. So
okay, so that bugs me right there. We are in an age where everything should just be HD standard,
yeah,
but
no problem.
yet people are you're charging an extra $1 for it.
Voodoo, and Ultraviolet, they do this as well. They have standard editions of everything. I don't know why, because I don't know of anyone that doesn't have a non HD TV anymore.
I've seen a few, but that's just, I mean, throughout my job, I deal with old people, so.
Okay, I mean people that would actually watch these movies.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
never one of those.
So, speaking of digital stuff, Star Wars is now available for the first time ever. All 6 of them are available as digital versions.
Came out of nowhere.
Also, guess what?
What?
Han shot first.
Is it the original? I was looking for that.
No, it's edited to the point where Han shot first, but it's still got the better graphics from.
Okay, so it's got the better graphics.
I
but
believe
they-
so. I could be
They
wrong.
cut all of Lucas's crap out of there.
Yeah. So you can now get Star Wars all 6 episodes.
Yes. And special features that nobody's seen before, apparently.
Apparently.
I looked it up on Amazon. All 6 episodes, $89.99 for the digital.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that's about the same price. Like, see, Blu-rays I think are about $100 for all 6 of them total.
Yep. The Logan's Run reboot is in the works.
So there's a staple that I have never seen.
Me either.
Logan's Run. I know the concept. I know the story.
You know, the iconic scene where he looks in his hand and
he's
his gem is glowing.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's beeping at him
Yeah.
or whatever.
Well, the reboot apparently is looking to have a female lead. May we recommend Scarlett Johansson? Just since she's apparently the most popular these days.
Apparently.
She was in The Island, if you remember.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
did
suppose she
pretty
was
fine
also
there.
Lucy.
Oh,
from
yeah,
Lucy.
Yeah. Well, no, but I'm just saying The Island because it's a similar concept of people living in a facility and then they get picked and they have to
Yeah.
run.
Yeah. Well, it's Logan's Run, your 30th birthday, you get killed.
Yeah.
Basically.
To
You're
keep
only-
population under control, I think. right?
I'm not 100% sure. But again, that's one of those movies that's like, oh, it's like Blade Runner. Everyone's like, yeah, you got to watch it. I did watch Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But for Logan's Run, I tried watching a little bit. I got about 5 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, this is so terrible. The Last Starfighter is another one that's supposed to be really good as far as old sci-fi
Yeah,
goes.
that's what I hear too.
But, I mean, when I say
Again.
old sci-fi, I mean old sci-fi.
Old.
So,
Yeah. Let's move on to TV.
All right.
Okay. Game of Thrones episodes 1 through 4 of season 5 have been leaked online.
Yeah. Today.
That is like
about a couple hours from now, they will be premiering episode 1 of season 5 of Game of Thrones.
But you can already
on HBO.
Be 4
but
episodes ahead.
If you know how to, you can already go find the first 4 episodes. They were leaked from, apparently they released them to a source for something. I don't know if it was reviews or something like that, but they got leaked from there.
Yeah.
So, of course HBO is looking into why this was done, and I know they say that, but I honestly don't care. I hope that they don't find whoever did it, because to me it doesn't matter. The actors have already been paid. The money will already be made by the HBO subscription that everyone has to get to watch them.
Yep.
And the money will be made off the seasons when they come out on DVD.
Because, yes, the episodes were leaked today.
Yeah.
But everybody who is planning to watch Game of Thrones
going to watch
has already gotten their subscription, so they can watch it tonight.
Yep.
So it really doesn't matter in either case. Like, they're not going to be like, oh, we get the first 4 episodes, we'll cancel our subscription until we get through episode 4.
They already pay for HBO Go.
Yeah.
They already do. So there's not really any money being lost. I mean, if you are an RIAA agent or an MPAA agent, go ahead and let us know why this really matters. I mean, honestly, I don't look at it and go, wow, HBO's going to lose, because they don't. Yeah, they might lose 1 or 2, viewers.
And you can send that not to datescott@gmail.com, but to actsofgeekery@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. So,
speaking of Game of Thrones and George R.R. Martin, I'm super excited to announce that he's working on a new TV show with HBO called Cosmic Man.
No, Captain Cosmos.
Captain Cosmos?
Yeah. Where'd you get Cosmic Man?
I remembered the word cosmic. Or
Captain Cosmos.
Captain Cosmos. So it is a young science fiction writer who spends his time crafting stories no one else would attempt to write. Kind of sounds like George R. R. Martin himself.
But it takes place in 1949. So, interestingly, I wonder if this is going to be about the writer itself, or if it's actually going to be...
It seems kind of interesting that they would just make a TV show about a science fiction writer.
Yeah.
Without throwing in something like he gets thrust into an intergalactic war or something like that.
And he's from 1949, so he's backwards and hates women and stuff.
Yeah. If it's half like inside where you get to see Captain Cosmos in the story like you're reading it.
Yeah.
And then half out where it's him writing the stories and everything, that would be cool.
They can actually make it pretty dang campy, too, and have it be good. A couple episodes ago, we talked about that.
Over the Moon.
Over the Moon. And that's what I think of when I see this, is I think of, 1950s rocket ship, the way that they used to draw rocket ships and stuff.
Yeah.
And, this big bubbled fish globe helmets for their spacesuits, and ray guns that have
So
everything
terrible.
everything has little rings and circles around poles and stuff like the Jetsons. For some reason, no one knows why, but they do.
I know that George R. R. Martin can write superheroes. I've read or I've heard some of his short stories that he's written that are superhero oriented and everything. It is really good. Like, he does good work.
He's just a good writer in general.
Yeah, he really is.
He does have a few things that we don't like as much, just as sometimes as super long descriptions in Game of Thrones. But that's only Game of Thrones. From what you were telling me about the short stories, is he doesn't do that in the other stuff.
Good. Like, he's got some science fiction ones that you absolutely need to read.
Yeah.
Where people are going crazy.
I definitely do, yeah.
Night Flyers. If just to put it out there for anybody who's looking for like my number one recommendation. Night Flyers by George R. R. Martin. It was going to even be a movie at one point, but it got canceled. It's about a haunted ship, basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So Doctor Who. All you Whovians out there, you Doctor Who fans. I'm a fan of Doctor Who. I don't watch it that much, but I like it. I think it's fun.
It's a good concept, at least.
And even though we have technology nowadays that's better, but they still do the kind of older style graphics and stuff. And they do that for a reason.
Yeah.
However,
by the way, Doctor Who is a kid's show, people. Or it was, at least.
If you like Doctor Who, you'll be happy to hear that it's going to get another 5 years. It'll be around at least until 2020.
That's good news for Doctor Whovians.
From the creator. So I don't know what they're going to do. Is that going to mean that Capaldi is going to be the Doctor for the next 5 years?
Either Capaldi is,
or are they going to figure out some loophole about him being able to regenerate another time?
Like once he goes to the 13th Doctor, he goes back to the first incarnation, but with a new actor as that first incarnation,
or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He steals somebody else's transformations.
Yeah.
Because that could work.
So last year, 2014, we saw Cosmos. So Carl Sagan did this in the 80s. He made a TV show, Cosmos, which was basically talking about space stuff and phenomenon, science. And really, really cool, really well done. They redid it, and not a remake, but just kind of a continuation with Neil deGrasse Tyson as the host. And it was kind of a showrunner was Seth MacFarlane, and they put on Fox, and it got a lot of backlash from the crazies out in the world. You know, fundamentalists that don't agree with the science in it.
Yeah, don't agree with science at all.
But generally well received.
Yes.
Most people really liked it. They thought it was really well done and thought it was really fun. I thought it was a blast. We had a couple Cosmos viewing nights where I had a bunch of friends over watch it.
It is the show that really calms me down. Like it is so relaxing and peaceful. When Neil deGrasse Tyson is talking, I just like lean back in the chair and I'm just like,
yeah, you're like,
the stress.
I like
of the
that.
day.
I like that astrophysics black guy.
Peyton Planetary Fly.
Yep. So
we're so white.
So Seth MacFarlane came out and said that Cosmos season 2 is looking good.
Great,
getting ready to gear up. So
good.
I'm excited.
Are they doing Neil deGrasse Tyson again?
Don't know. No one said. I was of the idea they need to get a new person every time. You know, they need to replace Neil with Brian Greene, which is another astrophysicist. They need to replace him with Michio Kaku. He's another theoretical physicist.
You definitely got to get somebody who's charismatic as well as...
Yeah, it has a really good voice, too. Really good narrator voice.
Yep.
But someone that's also really excited about... Well, they already have one. That's called Through the Wormhole. There's like 7 seasons of Morgan Freeman narrating all kinds of crazy science stuff. It's really good, and you know you get to hear his nice soothing voice all the time. So
there was something on Facebook where it said that he needs to record himself saying things in the like every word in the dictionary, like 2 or 3 different ways, so that when he dies, we can just synthesize his voice for anything. Yep.
Him and Alan Alda. Alan Alda's still alive, right? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't heard that he died or anything.
Yeah. No, he's actually got a movie coming up.
Yeah,
it's the new Nicholas Sparks bullcrap.
Oh, yeah, of course. We've got some game news as well. 2 of them. One is the final trailer for Mortal Kombat 10 has come out. We'll talk about that in the trailers and reviews section.
Because that comes out this Tuesday, if you're a game fan, as well as Batman vs. Robin.
Yeah.
Comes out this Tuesday. The new DC animated.
This Lego one, or this game, this Lego one. It's a
Lego
game.
Spoiled.
Lego
Dimensions is the name.
Lego announced their new game, Lego Dimensions. And it is basically to go up against Disney Infinity and Skylanders. It is a game where you have minifigs, Lego minifigs, on the little RFID discs, and you put them on the platform, and you get to play them. And I have 2 opinions on this, and they're conflicting. One is awesome. I love Lego games. Every Lego game I've ever played or seen has been fantastic.
And the trailer, we'll talk about this trailer a little bit later too. Makes it look really good.
And Lego has also done pretty much everything. I mean, they right away they announced, of course, Lego movie characters, DC characters, which is awesome.
Lord of the
Rings, Back to the Future,
Wizard of Oz,
Lego Ninjago. They'll, Bionicle can be part of it.
Yep. They didn't announce Marvel.
Nope, and they probably won't, or Star Wars.
I don't think so.
Because Marvel and Star Wars, they're already going to be in Disney Infinity. Marvel's already in Disney Infinity.
Yeah.
And I bet you Star Wars will be in it pretty soon because and Indiana Jones. Lego won't do those because that's owned by... When Disney bought out LucasArts, they got all of that, including Indiana Jones.
I don't think they got Indiana Jones. I don't think they did.
I think they did.
I don't think they did.
Okay, we'll have to look that up later, but I do believe they did.
Geek fight.
But anyway, so my opinion is that's awesome. They've got a lot of cool franchises. Lego games are usually fantastic. They're very well done. They're really fun.
It looks like you build the platform too.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Starter pack.
Yeah. So you said you had two opinions on it.
And my other opinion on this is...
You don't want to pay $10 for a minifigure?
Or $15.
Yeah, for a minifigure that, if you're a Lego collector, you probably already have.
So, it would be cool, now, if Lego, and I know they wouldn't do this, if the minifigs looked like Disney Infinity or Skylanders, where they're an actual sculpted figurine that's about 3 to 4 inches tall... On a big base. They're really cool. They're cool enough that you can detailed enough you can actually stick them on a shelf and display them if you want. These are just Lego figures, guys. I love Legos. I think Legos are fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.
But I don't ever care about displaying them. To me, Lego figures, I build them, maybe put the thing on display for a little bit, and then it just gets pushed in a box.
If I did want to display them, I just buy a $3 minifigure.
Yeah.
Instead of the RFID ones.
Yeah, so
which, but kids will go nuts over it, so
they'll make
gobs
of money.
Yep.
Hand over fist. So that's pretty cool. And so we're kind of 50-50 on it.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing that we have to talk to you about before we get into our casting couch is
just some random cool geek news that we found.
Apparently a woman by the name of Amy Graham from Utah, West Jordan, which is our neck of the woods.
Yep.
Now you know our last name and where we live. Come find us.
Yeah, we're not in West Jordan, but it's Utah. She was crowned the Medieval Combat World Champion.
Woohoo!
I mean, how cool is that?
Like, how many people can say? Well, one.
Yeah, one person can say, I am now the Medieval Combat World Champion. So the sport started in Russia about 8 years ago. And then became known in the United States about 2012. And she's been participating in combat for about the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And she's the first woman to ever get this far. I mean, and that has nothing to say about women not being able to do it. It's just physical strength. There's not a lot of girls that can compete with some of these guys in these competitions.
Exactly.
Some of these guys are big guys, but she was able to take them out basically.
Yeah.
And then they full on fight. This is not like foam swords and stuff. This is real swords.
It's not LARPing.
This is real swords, real armor. I mean, there are people that get their legs broken all the time. They get broken arms, broken ribs. I mean, they full on medieval combat.
Yeah.
They fight each other. It's crazy. But pretty awesome. She scored the best points. Kind of like karate. Karate, they actually fight, but they don't fight to try to kill each other.
No,
obviously.
they fight to get hits off.
They get the best
torso
hits and things like that. Yeah, and so in karate, when they fight and they have a competition, you get points based on where you land kicks or how good you block, things like that. But they do the kind of same thing. So congratulations, Amy. Great job for being our medieval world combat champion.
Yeah, go Utah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the casting couch.
Okay.
And we don't have to stop for that.
Okay.
We don't have that clip or
I
anything.
was just about to push the mute button. I was like, oh.
Ed Skrein, who is from Game of Thrones, he was Dario Naharis or whatever his name was, the original one.
The original Faceless Man.
No. Not the Faceless Man.
Oh.
He's the...
the one that trained Arya.
No.
I don't... Okay, just go. Explain it.
I'm trying to think of who he is. You keep throwing me off. Daenerys, the guy who he gets the heads of the lieutenant for her, and he falls in love with her and everything like that. Do you remember?
Oh, he was one of Khal Drogo's...
No.
I don't remember at all.
Hold on, let me pull up a picture of him.
Yeah. No, it doesn't look familiar at all.
They have to have a Game of Thrones picture.
I don't know. You said Dario Naharis, and it doesn't ring any bells for that. Why don't you type in Dario Naharis into Google?
Well, let's actually make sure I got this right here. And the next time you'll hear us, we'll actually have the information.
So he wasn't the Faceless Man.
No.
He was the guy that brought the blue rose to Daenerys.
Yes.
But he was the first one, the one with long hair.
He left to be the main part in the Transporter reboot.
Right.
Well, he is actually going to be in the Deadpool movie as the villain, and he just announced who he's playing, and it is a character called Ajax.
Okay.
Not the Greek Ajax.
He cleans sinks.
Yes. He's not the Greek Pantheon Ajax, which is the big guy in the Battle of Troy and everything like that. But Ajax is basically a strong man. Like he's an Ajax type. It's very simple to describe him like that. He's big, buff, and tough.
Cool.
So,
sounds good.
Yep. Olivia Wilde and Garrett Hedlund from Tron Legacy, the two main characters. Well, they'll be back for Tron 3. They just
fantastic. I thought they both played really good parts in that. I like Tron 2. A lot of people, or Tron Legacy, a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, a lot of
But
people.
I look back and I'm like,
go.
go watch the first one. You'll like the second one much better. Sorry, guys. The first one's terrible.
Yeah.
It's really terrible. You may feel nostalgia for it, but it's bad. It's so bad.
It's 1970s. Of course, it's bad.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Haitian from Heroes?
Vaguely.
He's Noah's partner.
That's right.
Who wipes people's memories.
That's right.
And he
That's right.
waves his hand over their face, and suddenly their memories are erased or whatever.
Yep.
Well, he is actually going to return for Heroes Reborn,
which we haven't heard much other than it's just a miniseries. So.
Yeah. And all we've heard is just people returning. Like they haven't announced any new cast members or anything. There's a rumor floating around that Ernie Hudson will be Black Panther's father.
Okay.
Which Ernie Hudson is pretty much like your old go-to black guy these days.
Okay.
So
what else has he played in? Do we know? Off the top of your head?
He's the Black Ghostbuster.
Oh, I thought he was dead. Oh no, that's Egon Spengler.
No, yeah. No,
he was the one that doesn't really have very much of a part in that movie.
Yeah, not really, because it was supposed to be Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
but they cut when Eddie Murphy canceled, they got Ernie Hudson and they just cut most of his lines out.
Yeah,
which is sad. Ben Hardy says he is going to be playing Angel in X-Men Apocalypse, but he's going to be playing a not nice Angel.
Okay.
So Archangel.
Okay.
And they showed off a picture.
He's going to be one. He's going to be one of Apocalypse's horsemen. 4 horsemen.
And they showed concept art, and here's him with his cool metal wings.
Sweet.
Yep.
Sweet.
I don't know who Ben Hardy.
Did he play? Did he play the first Angel? Probably not. Probably not for number 3.
I don't think so. I know the guy who did play Angel is playing Medivh in the Warcraft movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because he did a pretty good job on playing Angel. So
that's Ben Hardy. EastEnders.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's acted in 2 things.
Which
he's pretty young.
They're getting a lot of young people because it's back in the 70s.
That's true. Yeah, he would be young at that point.
Dominic Cooper. Howard Stark from Captain America.
Yep.
He's near to a closing deal on playing the lead in Preacher.
So he's going to play the Preacher?
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Like he's the front runner for it, and they're nearing the closing. So
cool.
Kingsman.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah. Kingsman Sophia Botella.
The swordfoot lady.
Great.
Oh my gosh.
Great. She doesn't say much in the movie, but she's fun.
And she actually, when she does talk though, she's okay. So I hate actors and stuff that they get for a look, but they can't act as well.
Yeah.
So in this case, so an example would be in Furious 7, Ronda Rousey, the
MMA fighter.
MMA fighter, she's in it, and she has 2 or 3 lines. She's so terrible.
She's so bad.
She's the worst effing actor in that whole movie, and that's saying a lot for a.
She's the worst actor in Expendables 3.
Oh my gosh, she's
that's
so horrible. I understand she's a tough, strong woman. Guess what? You can find other people out there that can fill the role, and you can make them tough. And stop getting. I think Gina Carano, she's not a very good actress either. She does okay. She's way better than Ronda Rousey.
Gina Carano?
She was a UFC fighter.
Gina Carano.
Yeah,
she's going to be in Deadpool. All right.
Yeah,
She's not very good.
Stop.
Michelle Rodriguez isn't that good of an actress either, guys.
She's not.
Sorry to say it.
But so in this case, so in Kingsman, when you saw her and she doesn't say anything, you're like, crap, she's probably a terrible actress. She's just there for the karate, basically. No, actually, she plays a really good part.
Yeah,
she's
when
really
she's
good
got
at it.
she's got fun lines and everything, and she plays them well.
So she's been cast for, I don't know if you said for Star Trek 3.
Yeah,
role.
a lead role in Star Trek 3.
So she's going to be another one of
Yeoman Rand,
she's going to be another Kirk's conquest.
Kirk love interest. Yep.
Kirk conquest.
Kirk conquest.
Yep. So yeah.
Which is the name of my Kurt Cobain cover band. Kirk's Conquest. I don't know why. But
yeah. Okay. Our favorite wizard, Ian McKellen.
Well.
Hmm.
Is he our favorite wizard?
He's my favorite wizard.
Like I said, Medivh is coming.
Well, he's not here yet.
Yeah,
so
true.
You can't say
All
he's
right.
your favorite.
Ian McKellen.
Favorite movie wizard. How about that?
Oh, but okay, go on. Sorry,
I don't even know.
I'm trying to think of other movie wizards that I might like better.
Anyways, he has been cast as the voice of Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast.
That's so perfect. If they don't get Patrick Stewart for Lumiere, I will riot.
Okay, first of all, awesome, because Lumiere is my favorite character from Beauty and the Beast.
French, which Picard can play French.
Second, did you read that? He's cast as the voice, which means they are not not turning.
I wrote that.
So you don't know if that's true?
They don't say voice. Let's see here.
Corey, how come you would how come you would deceive me?
I'm sorry.
Like that?
They don't say anything about it just being his voice.
We're going to go off the assumption that they are not going to turn they're going to actually do CG versions of it. Like he is actually a clock and Lumiere is actually a candlestick and Mrs. Potts is actually a tea kettle. I hope they do that. I really do. I really, really do.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
What else do we have? Oh, whoops.
That's pretty much it, I think.
Yep, that is in the wrong place. So let's go ahead and get into our trailers and videos.
Who are you supposed to be?
Captain America.
Beg your pardon? What, are we taking everybody?
I'm from Fresno, Ace.
Is there anybody else? I'm looking for Sergeant James Barnes.
There's an isolation ward in the factory, but no one's ever come back from it.
All right. The tree line is northwest, 80 yards past the gate. Get out fast and give him hell. I'll meet you guys in the clearing with anybody else I find.
Wait, you know what you're doing?
Yeah. I've knocked that Adolf Hitler over 200 times.
That's a lot of Hitler punches.
That is a lot of Hitler punches.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Hitler punched the video game. That's all you do. You just punch Hitler
Just one
over
button.
and over and over again.
I'll buy it.
It's a flash. It's probably a flash game already. Someone's made on the internet.
I'm sure we could find it, but we won't. We'll keep our hands off the keyboard and talk about trailers and videos.
All right. So, first one we've got is an SNL skit with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We didn't talk about it a couple weeks ago when he actually was on, but
Yeah. Anyways. We talk about Disney and doing all their live action movies that they're announcing, and they made a funny short of the next best live action ever, Bambi. Live action movie,
which
and
is
it's
basically Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, and
Bambi.
it's got Vin Diesel as Thumper, and Tyrese Gibson as the skunk Flower, and Michelle Rodriguez as what's her name, and then it says AKA the Lady Bambi. And it's just funny, and it's
it was fun.
Why do they call you Thumper? Because I'm always thumping.
What? I'm sorry. What was that?
I'm always thumping.
Yeah, there is always something, isn't there?
No, I'm always thumping.
What? You never seen a deer in the headlights before?
Yeah. Deer crossing mother effort. Pretty
so
funny.
good. Yeah. And it's nice to see. I'm sorry. I have to talk about The Rock really quick. He is now my favorite actor.
Okay. So Liam Neeson has been dropped from number one.
Sorry, Liam Neeson, but you have been replaced with The Rock, who is not the best actor out there. Like, he's not winning Academy Awards and for his performances or anything like that.
Agreed.
But he is like the best guy on the planet as far as I can tell. All the things I hear about him, he's the nicest person. He stops for people and talks with them and stops shooting to play with kids and everything.
Yeah, he loves his fans. He loves his fandom. He does everything he can to be included, or include himself with them when they want. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't like actors and actresses that are too high and mighty.
Here you go, Waving.
Pretty
Idris
much.
Elba.
Mm-hmm. They think they're so important. And
Yeah.
really, you know what? You're one of 7 billion people on the planet.
Yep.
Your importance is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you're a speck on a speck, buddy.
Yep. You are. Yeah, exactly.
The next one that was pretty funny was from, what was it? Seth Meyers.
Late Night with Seth Meyers. Mm-hmm.
And it's Jon Snow in a terrible dinner is a terrible dinner guest is basically the title of it. And it's just fun. They get Kit Harington
to play Jon Snow, his character from Game of Thrones.
Full on costume and everything at a regular New York dinner party. It's pretty funny.
It's hilarious. And the things that he says and the way he talks to other people and how he says stuff that in Game of Thrones would be mild.
Yeah.
Yet, now here it would be like, oh my gosh,
really?
said that.
Seriously? We also got
the best part of that,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion, is when he's acting out, when he's like, and they're like, well, so tell me your story. And he's like, it's a long and complicated story. And they're like, we've got time. And
it all started when Robert Baratheon came to meet my father,
Yeah, and then at one point he's reenacting the mountain crushing Oberon's head in his hands.
Spoilers.
It's so funny. Oh, it's good.
We also have a Jurassic World extended clip, like a full-on clip from the movie, which has a very different feel to it than the trailers have.
Yeah, the trailers are really like
dark,
intense and dark, and this one is not. This is Chris Pratt being funny.
Yeah.
Being just his goofy, lighthearted self, and he's talking to what's her name?
I don't know her name.
Gwen Stacy
from Spider-Man 3.
From Spider-Man 3. Yeah.
Not Emma Stone.
And there's a little bit of innuendo, and they've went on a date once or twice, and it's just actually and you said it is an interesting clip for them to choose for an extended one to release. We weren't really sure why.
I was completely surprised by it. That's for sure.
I don't know. There's another one. The next one on our list is a Facebook movie, so you'll have to probably sign into Facebook to see it.
Yeah,
when we link it. But it is the Game of Thrones actors before they were Game of Thrones actors. It shows their clip as their Game of Thrones character, and then it shows an older clip of them from
like their first role or something like that.
And some of them are really, really old, really weird. It's kind of interesting to see how far they've come, though.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's quite a few, though, that we were watching and we're like, oh, come on, he's actually this guy. Like, he's better known for that.
He's Yart Man in Hot Fuzz.
He's better known for that than even his Game of Thrones role, you know? So, interesting thing there.
Yep. We also, like we talked about earlier, we got our Mortal Kombat 10 release trailer, which is coming this Tuesday, April 14th. You can go get it. The release trailer is really cool. It's to a System of a Down song, so if you're into...
And, of course, you've got the Mortal Kombat, the new thing they're doing where when there's a fatality or a really big hit, it zooms in, you see bones breaking and stuff, which is kind of weird but kind of dumb, in my opinion.
Because it's like, and then they keep fighting. Oh, well, your skull just got cracked.
Yeah, your skull just got crushed into 100 pieces, yet you're still okay with fighting.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But,
and
some people like it.
And you kind of ruined fighting games for me because I'm starting to see, like, they're showing the cinematics and everything, and I'm like, oh, this looks really cool. I want to immerse myself in the storyline. And then they cut to, like, in-game fights, and I'm just like...
Yeah, the storyline is basically... And I think Soul Calibur was probably the first one to really do it this way, where... It's the first player is you go through levels on a map. Yeah. And you go, and every level is a fight, basically. Yeah. And that's it. There's nothing else you get to do.
There's no, like...
And there's occasionally some cutscenes and stuff, and the cutscenes are all right, but it's like, Do you
think that a Mortal Kombat game where it's a third person, like God of War or something like that, would be better?
Might. I don't know. That sounds actually really interesting.
Okay.
because God of War is actually a really cool game and a lot of cool.
I don't like it.
But there's the concept behind it.
No,
really
the
cool.
concept behind it's amazing. We got it for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And we could never get past the first level. Like there was some weird. We don't know if it was a bug, but we couldn't get past this challenge on the
that
first
probably
level.
says more about your gameplay ability than it does about the actual game itself.
Probably.
So.
I was the one who was like, why can't I kill this bear in Skyrim? And then I realized, oh, it's on super hard right now.
Yeah. Speaking of super hard,
Yeah.
Blue Man Group.
They are super hardcore, that's for sure.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, nice
They
segue.
play those pipes like crazy.
And this comes from...
Oh, wait, sorry. They're not the Blue Man Group. They're the Intel Pentium Group.
Oh, right.
Because I'm sorry, that's what they're going to be known for.
That's
Everyone
all
I
they
tell,
do
I'm like,
now.
you remember Blue Man Group? And they go, oh, yeah, the guys that did the Intel commercials. Uh-huh.
Yep, that's them.
Yep.
Well, this comes from Geek listener Adam, who sent us this link to the Blue Man Group doing the Game of Thrones theme song.
On the, I don't know what they call that. It's like a pipe. We'll call it a pipe organ, but it's not
PVC pipe organ. How about
PVC
that?
pipe organ. Yeah. Where they've got the pipes laid out and they're all different lengths
And
and
they
they
have
use paddles to do the noises. And it's really,
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
I really like the sound of it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds really cool. It's kind of like the marimba, you know, where it's basically a big xylophone is what that is.
You know what I want? I want oh crap, what are they? A theremin.
Yeah, theremin would be cool to have.
Just to play in the background for the show.
have it sitting in the corner, and then as people walk in the room, because it detects when there's stuff, stuff gets closer to it, it makes different sounds. It starts making noise. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Adam for showing us that. We have an official teaser for Black Ops 3, the new Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Doesn't really, not too much there. Again, like movie teasers, there's things that happen and you're like, oh, there's small clips. I can't wait for the trailer. For this, it's just like nothing.
Yeah.
For any video game teaser, it's nothing.
I don't even think, and if I recall correctly, because listening to it, there's a lot of audio clips, but they're all from the previous Black Ops games.
Yeah.
There's none of them that are new.
Yep.
And so right there, doesn't really say new game to me. It says rehash of old game.
So we're actually going to recommend you don't watch it.
Which is what Call of Duty is. But we're going to put it on our list anyways because
we're not biased.
We're not biased. Well, we are biased, but we try to show us the stuff we're biased against.
I love how we say that we're not biased, like it's this huge deal, like people have sent us hate mail. No, we're our own worst critics in that case.
That's true.
Let's talk about the Lego Dimensions trailer.
Okay.
Which
you showed
is-
me this one.
Yeah, super funny.
Because I talked to you about the game a little bit, and then you found the trailer.
Yep. Basically, a guy gets a package, creates the Lego Dimensions portal, and gets visited by Gandalf, Batman, and Wildstyle from the Lego movie.
And in full Lego size, which is funny because they try to fight him, and
They're tiny.
they're tiny. You can pick them up between his fingers.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. You get to learn a little bit. You get to see some clips from the game, which seeing that clip and then watching like the Sauron's tower in the middle of a giant city was really cool. And then like it switches over to Wizard of Oz and you're just like, what? Lego Wizard of Oz is so weird to me. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we got a Batman versus Robin clip.
Yeah, that comes out as well on Tuesday, April 14th.
Yeah, super excited for that.
And it's Robin talking to Talon. And Talon's on the Court of the Owls, and basically Talon's saying, I'm here to do what Batman can't do. Batman has some kind of moral code that prevents him from doing everything he needs to take care of and get rid of crime, i.e. kill, basically.
Yeah.
And so Talon's talking to Robin and saying, I respect Batman for everything he has done,
but it's stupid that
he needs to go further, and I'm here to do that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
It gives us a nice little hint into what's happening.
A little glimpse into it.
Yeah, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and that might be the whole versus Robin thing, is Robin gets courted by the Court of Owls.
Yep. And we know that Robin really has no qualms about killing because he was raised by the League of Assassins, which is the other Court of the Owls.
Pretty much. Yep.
That's it for trailers and videos.
Yeah, not a ton of stuff, not a ton of long stuff, not a lot of new trailers. I think everyone's kind of holding off until after Age of Ultron. Even non-Marvel related studios, they're going,
like,
you know what? people are just pretty much going to ignore everything of ours until Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
However, we are excited for coming up for Fury Road after Age of Ultron.
Yes.
A week or two after.
Batman v Superman.
We get our Batman v Superman trailer.
And we get our Force Awakens trailer with Age of Ultron, our new one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we will be definitely talking about those when they come out.
Usually for us, I would say if a trailer comes out before we go see it in the theater, we watch it, I think we should wait.
Yeah, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go take a look at them.
I would say we wait until we watch them because we're going to watch the movies before we record the podcast anyway. So it's not like that's a problem. So we won't spoil ourselves, but we'll let you spoil yourselves.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But if you want to hear our take on it,
geeks,
you geek. Oh, you're so cute.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pinch your little geek cheeks.
Well, while we're pinching geek cheeks, let's go ahead and get into our picks of the week.
Dr. Banner, now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
All right, it's time to tell you what we've been geeking out about this week. And Scott, we lied. There is one more trailer that we have.
Oh,
it is my pick of the week.
We're a bunch of liars.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, though.
A little bit ago, we talked about Star Trek Axanar.
Yes.
I've had it as my pick of the week. I think it's a fantastic fan-made movie. Is it a movie?
It is going to be a movie coming out, yes.
Full-length movie. Looks great and everything. Well, that's not the only Star Trek fan-made thing coming out.
In fact, there are many of them.
Yes.
There's a far last count, I think there was like 6 different. There's a Star Trek Continues, and
if you're looking for comedy, the Red Shirt Diaries is super hilarious, as well as improvised Star Trek is pretty funny.
Yep.
But we are talking about Star Trek Renegade or Renegades, one of the two. I think it's just Renegade. This is a series that is being developed, and it's supposed to be a pilot for a web series, like a pilot to show around for a web series, which follows a crew of misfits that are in a Federation ship to go do like an assassination mission.
They're doing the stuff that the
Federation,
the Starfleet won't do, because Starfleet and Federation are different entities.
Oh, okay. But
so
they have their codes and everything, and they need their covert ops kind of people.
Basically, yeah. And so they hire a team of mercenaries and or
including
renegades,
a criminal who's supposed to be spending her life in prison on an Orion prison. By the way, but it looks really cool. The graphics look amazing on it.
I'm going to say for a fan-made thing, yes, they are about the same level as Deep Space Nine.
Yes,
when Deep Space Nine finally they switched over to CG on all the ship models, things like that, and so they look pretty much just like that. The
ship combat looks more like a new Star Trek rather than old Star Trek. You're not having two ships that just kind of float near each other and fire phasers and everything. You actually have them flying around and ducking underneath each other and everything.
Yep, they're attacking each other, and there's all kinds of stuff flying all over the screen.
And you know what? I'm just excited for it. It reminds me of every 90s and early 2000s sci-fi show out there, and that makes me super excited for it.
You showed it to me, and I thought that was really cool. So I might have to go donate to it just so I can try to get it to. Yeah, I want to see it.
Yes, as do I.
Yeah. So my pick of the week is so right now currently I'm getting the Star Trek Starships collection from Eagle Moss.
I see it right there.
Yeah, they're sitting right next to us. We
got Deep Space Nine.
Got some models here.
You got 3 different Enterprises.
3 Enterprises, 2 different alien ships. I am going to do a review of them.
I'm so jealous of that Romulan bird of prey.
It is awesome.
Or not bird of prey.
Warbird. You should probably go buy one. You can buy them separately,
You can just buy them separately. I might have to go. I might have to go buy.
But anyways, Eagle Moss has another subscription-based item that I'm actually really, really into right now.
Keeping Scott's paycheck nice and lean.
Yep, exactly. Keeping that wallet thin. And it is a Marvel and DC set. They are chess sets. I'm not a huge chess player. I know how to play, but I don't play it very often.
You're not like I do the. Oh, I do the Ericsson's defense.
All I would say is, I see you use capoeira. I use capoeira as well, or whatever. The
I see you was fighting with capoeira.
No, it is figures from Marvel characters and DC characters little art figures on bases, and each one of them, like Batman's a king.
Yeah.
You know, Superman ends up being a king. And there's 3 different DC sets. They've got the Batman set, they've got the regular DC set, and then they've got the DC extended set.
Nice.
And then they've also got a Marvel set. And these are monthly. They're actually bi-monthly. Or fortnightly is what they call them, because it's actually Eagle Moss is from the UK.
Oh yeah.
So it's fortnightly.
It's fortnightly.
You pay, it's $15 every 2 weeks, so $30 every month, and they send you 2 figures a month, and they occasionally will send you like a custom chessboard and things like that.
Eventually, you'll have a full-on chess set.
You'll have a full chess set that you can play with,
and they do. I mean, you can get the Marvel and you can get the DC one. Fight them off against each other.
And a lot of characters that are not very well. I mean, they got like Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Like, who knows Booster Gold besides like the hardcore DC geeks, you know? Really cool. They haven't come out with the DC ones yet in the US, but they have the Marvel ones available. And
cool.
I might be getting them. I don't know. There's only about 30 of those, so that would take. I mean, obviously, it would take about a year and 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
To get them all, so it's not that
unless
bad.
you double down like you did with your Star Treks.
I actually haven't called them back.
Oh, okay.
I did call them, and they said, yeah, we can do that, but you need to call us between this time and this time. And every time I dial the number, it says, we are now closed.
Oh.
I think they gave me the wrong time zone. They put in, call me from 3 a.m. to 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific or Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern. Oh,
and
wow.
I think what they meant is Eastern UK or something, because every time I call, even during those times, they're like, we're closed, and the UK is about 8 hours difference from us. So,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go set them. They're just eaglemoss.com. You can click on, search by franchise and select Marvel or DC, and you'll be able to see those chests. It's really cool, really detailed.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for the Acts of Geekery podcast. If you have a video that you would like to recommend that we watch, or a pick of the week that you'd like us to talk about on the show, you can send an email to actsofgeekery@gmail.com.
You can also go to facebook.com/actsofgeekery, and you can let us know there in a comment or a private message even.
We've got stuff coming on Facebook all the time. I'm trying to do a little bit more, showing off the pictures that we talk about over the course of the week and everything. You can go to youtube.com and search for Acts of Geekery, and you can subscribe to us there. All the podcasts are there if you want to just go through that.
If you want to watch them there, or if you pull them up at work or something and put on your headphones. You can also get our podcast off iTunes and just search for Acts of Geekery under the podcast section, and that's the best place, probably the best place to get it, because our main site that we use to upload is not that great.
We're working on getting something better.
Getting it better.
Yeah.
And last but not least, you can also hit us up on Twitter. You can you can just @Acts of Geekery or using the hashtag Acts of Geekery, and we'll find that occasionally.
Yep. Well, Scott,
and those are all ACTS, not AXE.
Well, Scott, I guess this is it. I will see you next week. We do not talk at all between the podcast.
No, we don't.
No, not at all.
No, I don't know where you live. All of a sudden you just show up at my house and right before the podcast. And then as soon as
I'm
it's
just down
posted,
here in the basement as soon as you start the episode.
As soon as it's done, you're gone.
You know what? I think I'm a ghost, Scott.
In fact, if I actually went and listened to our podcast, I bet you'd only hear me talking.
I keep telling you that it's good. Like, I listen to it. It's great. It's great. But really, it's just you talking, and then all of a sudden,
it's just
static and
just silence. Just white noise.
Yeah, that was my version of white noise.
Yeah,
demonic white noise.
And mine is actual white noise.
Yes. Well, until next time, I'm Corey.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the Brothers Geek.
Keep geeking out.
I'll be back.